This video is long overdue. A lot of people have been asking me about making a video that talks about all the Atari Jaguar variants and basically kind of like an Atari Jaguar console buying guide, so I'll be happy to do that. So I happen to have a lot of Atari Jaguars and Jaguar CDs, and I happen to be one of the last people that actually works and services these devices right here. So let's talk about basically there's two variants in terms of Model K and Model M Jags. So the dead giveaway between a Model K and a Model M Jag is actually going to be, if you take it apart, the Model K Jag, some of them have resistors right here, along with this jumper wire, and you can see it says version 1.0. This is actually the worst one to have, because this one will actually glitch during certain gameplay. So comparing them, Motorola made both ASICs. The Model K, you don't see the Motorola here. So if you do have a Model K Jag, you can see that you want to look for that it says version 1.1 and not version 1.0. And you can see the model number underneath here, but you can have two Model K Jags here, and like this one here, this will not glitch during certain games. And this one here, which is a Model K Jag, actually will. So let's just show you what some of the glitches look like. So Super Burnout's one of them. Now keep in mind that this will happen if you have a cartridge or if you have the game drive. So let's just go to the Canada level. All right, so we have the Canada level here. We're gonna hit B to start. And this is basically gonna crash like right away. All right, here we go.
Set, go.
And crashed, just like that. It'll also do that in parts of Alien vs. Predator, along with, I think, the second or third level of Doom. So let's just play Alien vs. Predator, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So turn it off, turn it back on. Let's go Alien vs. Predator. All right, we're going to load a save file. That'll work right there. All right, let's see how long it takes for it to wig out. Yep, there we go. You hear that? Pretty much certain parts of the game are, I mean, you hear that sound, it's basically unplayable. Ugh, so bad. And like I said, that'll also happen in the second or third level of Doom as soon as you start here. But look, these are both Model K. This one clearly is a version 1.1. So basically, there's a certain window with Model Ks where those Atari Jaguars have issues with those games and will glitch in that. There's even some homebrews. So if you have an early copy of Asteroid, that will also have issues with that. There is a patched version that you can get that works around that. And let's just talk about now the difference between not just the Motorola and the Model K Jags, but there's also NTSC along with Japanese Atari Jaguars. So the main difference between a NTSC Atari Jaguar and a PAL Jaguar is the LED itself is going to be green, and it's going to be a 50-60 hertz signal. So this is going to be 50 hertz, this is going to be 60 hertz, unless you mod it, and I'll talk about what that looks like. So right here, we're going to turn it on, and we can see that this here has a green LED. So this is actually a PAL Jag. However, I have modded this for NTSC, which to do that, all you need to do is actually remove a resistor here. I believe that would be R140. And if you add a resistor, you can make, to R140, you can make this an actual 50 hertz Atari Jaguar. And here we can see our Motorola. And this would be the same for a Model K or a Model M Atari Jaguar. So again, this is just a board I'm working on at the moment. So a couple things to note here. There are some revisions. So there is a French, and I believe the Japanese Atari Jaguar does not have this switch right here, along with some have this blocked off and don't have any kind of RF out. The Atari Jaguar can support composite, S-video, component, RGB, basically straight out the box. You can even use Sega Genesis or Super Nintendo style connectors. So this right here is a Jaguar all-in-one board, and there is a Jag to Gen adapter, so you can use Sega Genesis style adapters. Now when it comes to Jag CD, move it out of the way, we have two different types of Jags here. We have a revision H. So again, the main Jag, you have Model K, Model M. Model K has two different revisions. along with your region variants. Here's another one I'm working on for a customer. This one has seen better days. This is a Rev C Atari Jaguar CD. And you can tell Rev C because a couple things. So one, it has a socketed, actually no, I'm sorry. I added the socket here. No, I didn't, never mind. Rev C has its own socketed BIOS thing right there. And it has this jumper wire running across, along with one resistor right there, and believe it or not, that is actually factory. So normally on the Rev H this would not be socketed, but I added a socket here. This is again another donor board, and here's one that I am working on right now. The other thing, when you're buying Atari Jaguar CDs, really easy way to tell whether or not someone has attempted to replace the laser. Here we have an original laser. You can see that that has a fairly narrow slit right there, whereas replacement lasers will have a much wider aperture for the actual laser itself. And we'll talk about most common faults with the Atari Jaguar CD while I have one taken apart. So the biggest issue you will run into with the original one is this disc platter right here gets stuck, and this will not spin freely, so you have to lift it up. So here I just pushed it down, and you see that there's a little bit of resistance there. This should actually lift up and spin freely, so you don't hear it anymore, along with the laser itself dying. Another way to tell whether or not somebody has worked on this is on most of the Atari Jaguar CDs, there's actually, again, from the factory, hot glue basically above the solder points right here. So if you see that there is no glob of hot glue, then that's actually likely that somebody did already work on that. Now, as for controllers, there's three controllers that are made for the Atari Jaguar that were factory. So we'll talk about the factory ones first. There are gray button and there are black button Atari Jaguar Jag pads. The D-pad, in my opinion, feels better on the gray button versus the black button, but that's just a matter of preference. Like this actually scratch that. The black button feels a little bit better here, a little bit clickier than the gray one right here. So you can tell basically you have two different versions. They both work fairly well, but in my opinion, the Pro controller, which there's official and there's remade ones. The official ones have Atari logo right here, is the best D-pad, the best feeling pad you can have. Now there are mods that are available out there. So this is modded for rapid fire. So that's where you see the little LED there. And the switch right here. I'm currently the only person offering these. I'm way behind on pre-orders, but I will open those up. And there are clicky thumbstick mods, which some people offer. And here we have an aftermarket Jag Pro controller, the Star Wander. And here we have one that's modded for rotary, which will help you with Tempest. And in terms of games, the nice thing about the Atari Jaguar is that they're still making games to this day. We have Asteroid, we have Atari ST conversions, we have brand new games coming out, and then here we have the entire Jag CD library here, along with a couple aftermarket games, so to speak. The nice thing about the Atari Jaguar, it is region free, so any game from the US or from Europe will work on basically any Jag. And then same thing with the actual Jag CDs themselves. So as far as I know, there is no 50, 60 hertz difference with the Jag CD itself. However, the Atari Jaguar will need to be modded to do 60 hertz if you have an if you have a PAL Jag, and then vice versa if you want to flip flop it back, which some people do to make Space Ace and Dragon's Lair and Brain Dead 13 easier if you're playing that at 50 hertz versus 60 hertz. So the games are quite challenging. And here we can see a full library complete in box. And when it comes to the Atari Jaguar and Jaguar CD boxes, there are a couple different box variants. There's about 6 or 7 that I'm aware of. In Japan, Alien vs. Predator was the pack-in game. And then Cybermorph, that will have an American flag instead of having Cybermorph in the corner there. And you can see some of the games that were planned. So if we look at this Jag CD box right here, we got Dragon's Lair, Battle Morph, Brett Hull's Hockey, Robinson's Requiem, Creature Shock, Demolition Man, Black Ice White Noise, Jack Nicklaus Golf, Highlander. So some games that never came out, like Demolition Man and Creature Shock. And here we can see this box right here. So that game came out. That game came out. Let's see. There's nope, did not come out. Came out, and Kasumi Ninja. And some of these boxes also show off like Tiny Toon Adventures. So the backs of some of these are different. So Tiny Toon Adventures was another planned game that did not come out. And as far as I know, I think Kasumi Ninja is the only game that came with a sweet headband. So I have a sealed Kasumi Ninja that also has a headband inside. But overall, this is everything that I just wanted to talk about in terms of all the different variants. Again, there's multiple box variants. There's multiple console variants between the Model Ks along with the Model Ms. Talked about how to get everything modded. And again, in terms of collecting, it's one of the easiest systems to collect for in terms of quantity. You have basically 50 Jaguar cartridge games, and you have about 13 CD games. And that basically lines up everything. And if you add up the memory cartridge, that leads to a total of 64 total games, I guess, to collect for that were official. 64 bits. First ever 64-bit console. Again, everybody remembers Atari does what Nintendo don't. And thanks, guys, for watching.